All right, folks, my name's Mark Berkler. I want to welcome you to the next 90 minutes. We're going to pack this with lots of information. I've discovered, Charity has helped me discover a health product, which is probably one of the most profound health products I've ever gotten on. I've been into health for about 40 years. And because it is so profound, we love to share it with you. And I also want to share with you the process I go through to decide that something is true, it is valuable, it is worth sharing, so you understand the process. So we're going to start with that. And then we'll get into the product and I'll share some academics behind it. And then Charity's going to take over and Sue's going to take over and they're going to get into the specifics of the product. So a little bit later on, we'll get into the specifics of what these products are that a company called Gia has made available to us. Um, my introduction to healthcare came about 35, 40 years ago. I went over to Malaysia to minister for several weeks, picked up parasites, came back with parasites in my colon, which of course made a new crop of diarrhea every 3 days. And so I thought, oh, yeah, yeah. So I went to the doctor. I wasn't accustomed to going to doctors much at all, never been accustomed to going to doctors much. So I went to the doctor. He said, I'll bring in a stool sample. I said, well, that's pretty gross. And he said, well, do it. So I did it. And they looked through the microscope, see if they could find a parasite. They couldn't. So they said, well, do it again. And I said, are you kidding? And they said, nope. And I said, okay. So I did it a second time. They said, well, we still can't find any parasites. I said, well, I know they're there because the problem didn't go away. So they bring it a third time. So the third time I bring it in, the guy behind the counter says, you know what? We probably couldn't identify a parasite if it jumped up and bit us. Well, that rocked my entire worldview because I thought these guys with microscopes could see this kind of stuff and could resolve it. So that was the beginning of a cracking of a worldview and a changing of a worldview for me. When I was living in Buffalo, so I went across the border into Niagara Falls, found a naturopath. First time I'd ever gone to a naturopath, even considered going to one, because they didn't have microscopes. So what would they know? So he gave me some herbs. He said, this will chase the parasites out. I said, okay. So I took the herbs, and sure enough, just the one stop with him, got the herbs, chased the parasites out, and I was fine. And since the Bible says you can test things by their fruit, and that's one of the ways that I discover truth is what's the fruit in my own life? Well, the fruit of my own life was the medical practice that I had depended on and pretty absolute confidence in let me down because they couldn't resolve my problem. And here's a naturopath without a microscope, but he knows enough about how the body works to bring instantaneous healing. Within a week or so, it was all gone. The parasites were gone. So I changed my worldview and I became a naturopath. I got trained as a naturopath about 35 years ago. I've been a naturopath. I've been exploring health for 35 years and I've learned a lot, one step after the other, so much to learn. And I'm very excited about what I've learned and where I'm at. I'm 72 years of age now, and I'm in, by the grace of God, I'm in really great health. There's no medications, no aches, no pains. Everything in my body works, and I consider that a testimony to the fact that as I've explored health and asked the Holy Spirit to lead me, He's taken me step by step down a path that the Bible says gets brighter and brighter till the dawning of the full day of Christ in our hearts. And Bible says the righteous walk on a highway of holiness, and it does get brighter and brighter. And my life has got, and my health has gotten brighter and brighter. And I'm thrilled at where I'm at. So I want to share with you one of the most important discoveries that I have made. And I made this discovery about 2 years ago. And it's a company called Gia. And I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to share with you some information. And everything I'm going to share here is going to be on a link that you can get to on our website, our Community Guide Ministries website. If you just type in the search bar IH2O, this right here, IH2O, you type that in our search bar at cwgministries.org, it'll take you straight to this blog that I am looking at. And this blog details what I have learned, okay? This is a gentleman who is a Russian scientist who spent a decade trying to figure out why in the world some people near Chernobyl, where there was a nuclear accident, one village didn't get any cancer. And he spent a decade looking, is there something in the water? Well, couldn't find anything in the water. Is there something about the structure of the water? Finally discovered, yes, the structure of the water came out of a high mountain stream. It was single filed aligned water, not clustered water, which is what we drink, the stuff that comes out of our faucets. So that was his discovery. He shares his discovery. Okay. And then he went ahead and he patented a US patent on a unit that you can set on your countertop that turns the clustered water that comes out of our faucets into single file aligned and produces tremendous health benefits. Here's my arm 1 week before I started drinking this water. Okay, you can see that there's definitely toxins in my system that are seeking to come out through the skin, and that had been there for months and months and months, and it would float from one arm to the other arm to a leg to my stomach. So obviously, I knew that there was way too many toxins inside of me because they're trying to come out through the skin. Well, 1 week in to drinking this, what we call eye water or intelligent water or IH2O, there's several different names for it. They're all fine. Okay. That's my arm 1 week in. And, it hasn't come back. It's a year and a half, 2 years in, and no rash has returned to my body. And it floated around for years. Okay. So I was pretty excited about that. I said, wow, whatever this is, this had produced an amazing fruit, a good fruit in my life. And that's what I'm looking for, good fruit. Patty, my wife, she found her blood pressure went down. She'd had high blood pressure for quite a few years, and she'd been on very mild medication to try to bring it down. Well, when after just a couple of weeks, she found her blood pressure after drinking this water was going down. It went down for the whole next month, went all the way down to normal. And she also found a second testimony here from Patty. She had a black and blue spot on her leg for several years after a bicycle spill. And it disappeared over the first couple of weeks that she was drinking this eye water. And so for both of us, I don't think there's ever been any water I've ever drank that produced those kinds of health benefits that quickly. Actually, and health benefits that I could put my finger on at all. Okay. And I have spent thousands and thousands of dollars. A Grander water unit was about 2,500. Another water that put hydrogen gas in the water, that was another 2,500. So I have spent money, multiple thousands on multiple units, and nothing produced an impact, especially in a week. So I was very, very, very impressed. So this whole blog is going to cover everything that we're covering tonight. You can click on all these hyperlinks. It takes you out to a lot more information. If you click on this hyperlink, Mark's presentation notes, it's going to give you an outline to the presentation that we are doing right here tonight. Whoops, 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 whoops. And that it did not work, did it? Okay, so Mark's presentation notes. Let's just open it right here, another tab. Okay, Sue, nod your head if you can see this, my presentation notes. Got it? Okay, so what's my paradigm? What's my system for discovering truth? Basically, I use what I call the leader's paradigm. We have it written up on our website. I want things to be compatible with Scripture. I want the Holy Spirit to bear witness in my heart that it's good. I want anointed reasoning to say, yep, it's solid academically. I want the counsel of other people to confirm that it's good. And I want the fruit in my life and other people's lives to say, this is good stuff. So I'm looking for all of those to line up with green lights. And you say, well, what about scientific studies? You didn't put scientific studies in there. And there's probably a reason for that. I'm just going to click over to this hyperlinked blog. Okay. And this is another blog now on our website. Scientific studies, if they are defiled by money, they're not going to lead us to truth. And here's a lady who was the editor-in-chief of the New England Journal of Medicine for 20 years. Now, this is the top magazine that all doctors go to for the most authoritative research and the most current research on health advances. And they decide their policies for how they're going to treat their patients based on what's on this website. And also the government, our government and other governments, they form their policies for public health on the information that's here. And here is her conclusion when she retired. She said, and this is startling. Okay, 20 years publishing these studies for us. It is no longer possible to believe much of the clinical research that's published or to rely upon the judgment of trusted physicians or authoritative medical guidelines, I take no pleasure in this conclusion, which I reached slowly and reluctantly after my 2 decades as the editor of the New England Journal of Medicine. And then this Dr. Mark, he goes on, he says, the problem that the system is broken and the science is crud is because of money. The government gives grants and says, hey, if you can do a grant and prove this for us, because it's what we want proved, we can give you a bunch of money. So the grants are tainting the studies so that they're no longer valid, which is really, really, really sad. So, so yeah, science could come into play, but I'm going to consider who did the study, who paid for the study, was it a well set up study? Because the vast majority are not well set up, and they're paid for by pharmaceutical companies who want to push a drug down my throat, and so that invalidates that whole thing for me. Okay, so as I'm thinking about healthcare, here's some of the things I noticed. The US is by far the most expensive healthcare system in the world. In the United States, we spend 12,000, 12,500 per person per year on healthcare. That is more than any other nation in the world. And if you go down a half a dozen nations, you see they're down to 6,500. The Netherlands, okay, they're only paying half of what we pay. And I said, well, if I'm going to be paying twice or 5 times or 10 times more than other nations, because there's 200 other nations, these are just the top 6. There's 200 nations. I sure want to be in the top 1 or 2 or 3 nations as far as lifespan, because that's the purpose of healthcare, is going to keep me healthy and keep me living a long time. So here's the 200 countries ranked in 2024 by life expectancy. And here's 43, 40, this is up to 200, 44, 45, 46, 47, there's 48. Wow. America is 1/4 of the way down the list, 48 out of 200. We're not in the top 1, 5, 10, 15. We're not in the top 20 or 30 or 40. 48 down the list, and we pay way more than anybody else. So that says to me, Mark, this system is broken. Whatever, for whatever reasons, we don't need to know. I can give you lots of reasons, but mostly it's money, I think. It's broken. And if I decide to trust it, then I'm going to die quicker than people in 47 other countries. And I'm probably going to spend the last decade of my life in poor health and firm health. And neither one of those two things interest me at all. So again, I'm looking at the fruit of life and saying, this is not good fruit. I need to step out of this system. I need to take responsibility for my own health, which is what we're suggesting that you do too. Here's the links of World Health Organization and other entities where it lists all 200 nations. You can look at your nation, find out where you rank in this list of 200. Okay, so when I come to the Bible and say, well, what's the Bible say about health? It says a lot of stuff about health, but here's a really powerful verse. The life of the flesh, which is what I want life in my flesh. It's in the blood. So man, if I can do something to improve the quality of my blood and clean up my blood, I'm going to affect my health in a really big way. And since the body's mostly water, 60 to 70% water, improving the water that I drink improves the blood, which improves my flesh. Okay, so one more time, Leviticus 17:11, the life of the flesh, my life of my flesh is in the blood that's circulating in my system. And you know, the eyes are water is the most crucial element. Okay, 95% of what's in your eyes is water. Heart, 75% is water. Blood, 94% is water. Muscles, 75% is water. Lungs, 85%. Kidneys, 83%. Brain, 83%. So if I can improve the blood, improve the water, all of these things, all my major organs, everything in my body is affected. So that's one of the reasons I love Gia's products, or their eye water, so much, is because I can take a pill for prostate, I can take a pill for an antioxidant, but it's gonna affect one small piece in my body. By drinking their eye water, it has the potential to affect every cell all the way through my entire body. And that makes it about 1,000 times greater than maybe any other pill that I might be taking. And yes, I do take a bunch of nutrition for sure. Even though I take no pharmaceutical drugs, I do take a fair amount of nutrition, but I'm really in love with this water. Okay. So some more science to just help me understand why this eye water unit's so powerful. Dr. Peter, he won a Nobel Prize in chemistry in 2003. Okay, I'm looking for leaders who have won national awards because I'm going to trust them a little bit more than just the average Joe in the street, all right? So he works for the Johns Hopkins University and the Malaria Research Institute. He won this Nobel Prize in 2003. He was recognized for his discovery of aquaporin water channels. So what that is, he says the channel that allows water through the cell into the cell is really, really small, okay? And it's only big enough to allow single file aligned water into the cell. Okay, well, that's pretty interesting because the water comes out of my faucet is clustered water. So that means it's going to have to, my body's going to have to break it down into single file line before it's going to be allowed into the cell. Okay. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a unit that broke down this clustered water into single file line so my body didn't have to do that job? Because that'll take a big workload off and it'll probably let a whole lot more water into my cells. And guess what? We do this. Dr. Smirnoff, the guy that we looked at a moment ago, he has a patent. He's got 4 patents, and Gia Products used 3 of his 4 patents. But this one patent I'm going to explore right now is it's a method and device for producing activated liquids. Okay, so it activates the water, like turning it into single file a line, and it's liquid. It's all liquid. So you can put milk in this unit, you can put orange juice in it, you can put coffee, you can put tea, you can put whatever you want to, any liquid. It's going to, this patent said, it's going to turn it into single file line. So people say, well, that's malarkey. You can't, water is water, it swishes all over. No, that's not true. Here's a patent by the US Department, a patent office saying, no, here's a unit that will make it single file aligned. And you say, well, I bet that costs 5 or 10,000. No, it doesn't cost 5 or 10,000. This is what it looks like right there. Okay. It's a countertop unit. It sits on your counter. And it's got this little activator here on top that sits on top of this pitcher. This is just a lid that you can pick off, okay? So you fill this up with your regular water that comes out of your, you want to filter your water first. I get my water out of the refrigerator. It's got a decent filter in the refrigerator that takes about 99% of the crud out of the water because I don't really need to be drinking all that crud. But then I would still like it to be turned to single file lines. So I fill this up to about there, and we push a little button here on top where a little red light starts blinking. And what it does is, how does it work? The H2O activator generates a frequency field. So it's going to send an electromagnetic field down into the water for 30 minutes. This frequency field bombards the clumped water molecules. Within 30 minutes, the water molecules are single file aligned according to the US Patent Office. So that's good. I've got a Nobel Prize winner here, telling me I need single file aligned water. I've got a patent office saying, yep, we got a device right here that sits on your countertop. I don't even have to get an electrician to plumb this in or to run some electric cords. I plug this into an outlet in the wall. This is really, really simple, okay? And it's really cheap, okay? It's under $1,000, okay? And would I want to spend $1,000 on my health? Well, since I'd like to live to 80 or 90 in vibrant health, and I'm expecting my car to only last 10 years, and I put $30,000 into my car and figure it's going to need to be broken down and have pieces to be fixed, in those 10-year period, I'm going to be trash at the end of 10 years. I don't want my body trash at the end of 10 years. I want it still going strong in my 70s, which is what I'm in right now. And I don't want parts breaking down and having to replace them, okay? So would I be willing to spend $1,000 instead of 30,000 for a car, 1,000 for my health to make sure it stayed in good shape for 70 years, not 10 years? Yes, absolutely. This is a no-brainer for me. Absolutely no-brainer. Okay. So as a naturopath, I did get trained as a naturopath. There's three things that they all know. Every naturopath knows that if you want to be healthy, you need to get the toxins out of your body. And there's 50,000 new toxins been created, chemicals, toxins, since World War II ended. So we're in the most toxic soup of the history of mankind. And those toxins are in the air, they're in the water, they're in everything, they're in our bodies. they're in mother's breast milk, for crying out loud. Okay, it's horrific. I want to get the toxins out. I want to strengthen my immune system, because a strong immune system, man, I was reading a book by allopathic medicine, which is a kind of medicine practiced in America. And they said, if you have a strong immune system, cancer cannot develop. So guess what? I want to do anything and everything I know to do to build a strong immune system. And so, yeah, eye water is going to help do that. And I want to nourish the cells. I want to get great nutrition into my body, because God had built this body to run on nutrition. And the more high quality nutrition in my body, the healthier I'm going to be. So Dr. Smirnoff, a guy who spent a decade developing this, he has written a book, okay? And here's his book. It's called Molecular Renaissance Resonance Effect Technology and its effects on the human body, okay? Now, this is a pretty in-depth book. I don't think I understood most of it. I did buy it, and I did read it, but I skimmed a bunch because I said the words are pretty much outside of my vocabulary, but I did understand the summary. And here's the summary statement at the end of his book. Laboratory testing, and he's done a lot of laboratory testing, has proven that this eye water, or MRET water, performs each of the following things. It increases hydration in your body. And most of us are dehydrated. 3 times more water will go into your cells if it's eye water than if it's clustered water. That means that 3 times more nutrition will go in and 3 times more toxins will come out. So when you go up here and look at detoxify, 3 times more toxins coming out, 3 times more nutrition going in, and it doesn't have to do the work. Your body doesn't have to do the work of breaking the water down, which takes a huge load off it. So your immune system can be strengthened and released to do other things. So all 3 basic foundational things that promote health that any naturopath knows are all being done by this water. Okay, so it increases nutrient absorption, cellular detoxification, enhanced immune response, decreased inflammation. Aging is pretty much all about inflammation. The more inflammation in your body, the poorer your health, okay? So we want to get the inflammation out. It's antibacterial, kills bacteria, antiviral, kills viruses, anti-tumor, puts tumors into remission, and inhibits the growth of mutated cells. And there's some links, and here's a government research with millions of scientific articles, and you can look up MRET there, and you're going to find scientific research posted on this government website. And since the Bible says you can test things by their fruit, here's real life testimonies from 100 people that we know, starting with Patty and I and Charity, and Sue and Karen and others who'll be testifying here in a few minutes, okay? 100 testimonies saying, hey, I got in the water and my health improved. And so that's pretty exciting. These are the tests. This is my paradigm for discovering truth, and all the pieces are falling together and saying, yep, this is something solid. This is something you can promote with integrity, because it will bring change to a person's life. Now, if you're already healthy and you don't have any aches and pains, you may not notice a really dramatic result. But even if that's the case, you still are promoting personal preventative wellness. And I believe in preventative wellness. I don't want to wait till I get sick to do something. I want to not get sick. And man, I have not been sick or had colds or basically anything for the last couple of years. Okay, it's been just amazing to me. So does this water really, really affect blood? Because the Bible says that the life is in the blood. So if I drank a glass of this water, I looked at my blood under a microscope. Could I see what is going on? So yes, we can do that. And we have done that. And we're going to do it right here, right now. I'm going to show you, there's about 6 different testimonies here. I'm just going to show you one, okay, what happens.
In our first subject, we can see agglutination of the red blood cells. This person considers himself in good health. We can see, however, a uric acid crystal or debris in his blood.
Did I touch something and wreck it?
No, I think it's just
No,
loading.
filtered water.
Okay, I think my computer is just having a little bit hard. He consumed filtered water. It's having a hard time.
without making a noticeable change. After consuming 16 ounces of IH2O, we can observe that his red blood cells are completely detached. As we know, oxygenation affects the biological terrain. What a wonderful reaction. Subject number 2.
Okay, well, all 6 of those subjects you can take a look at and watch this. It's on my blog that I started out and introduced you to and told you where to find that. Okay, so that's pretty exciting. Live blood analysis confirms the transformation of blood flow, which the Bible says, man, if you can lighten the blood, you can improve the. When I saw that video and the improvement in blood, I mean, I'm ready to buy immediately because I know that that's the key to vibrant health. And so I wanted you to see that too. And you say, well, does eye water really make stuff grow better? You know, like my body, for example. Well, here's an onion in regular water and activated water. They both begin on day 1, same size, being fed, 2 different kinds of water. Regular water, activated water, by the time you get to day 5, you'll notice the activated water, he's growing better, he's bigger, stronger, okay? And look at here, day 16, wow, the one drinking activated water, look how much better and healthier and stronger it is. So that's what I'm doing to my body when I'm drinking eye water. I'm causing this to happen. Now, this excites me, okay? Because that's not psychosomatically induced. The onion just didn't believe I'm drinking better water, so I think I'll get bigger. This is just pure reality. Okay, so they said in a summary statement that it's antifungal. It's going to help it, and anti-parasitic and antiviral. So, all right, here's regular milk, glass of it on day 1, okay? And here's activated milk. You ran the activated milk right through that little teapot that you can sit on your countertop. All right, so here we are 4 days in. You're getting some bacteria growing in the regular water, but activated milk, there's no bacteria visible yet. How about if we go on to day 6? All right, the regular milk, a lot of crud beginning to grow. Activated milk still looks pretty decent. How about the 9th day? Okay. This is what the regular milk looks like. It is really mucked up. Here's activated milk, only just beginning to show any sort of growth of stuff within it. So yeah, is it going to slow down the growth of crud in your system, improve your health? I'd say absolutely yes. There's evidence, okay? So that's the eye water. You will get testimonies from the people who've been drinking it in a few minutes, and they'll show you more about it. I'm just doing the background academic research, the boring part, before you get the exciting part, which is Cherry's going to take over the exciting part. All right. So Gia, the company that sells the eye water unit, also sells other products. This Smirnoff has 4 patents, and 3 of his US patents are woven into the product line that Gia offers, and that they're all energy products. So energy, E equals mc squared, that's Einstein, okay? He said, look, energy is the root. It undergirds all matter, okay? Frequencies surround us. We got frequencies from nature, from the ocean, from the land, from the trees. Everything is electrical at its core, okay? And it emits an energy field that radiates out from it. You can take Kirlian photography and you can see the energy field that radiates out from the human body. In the middle centuries, saints, they would show that these people had a stronger energy field. They would show a glow around their head. And we kind of laugh at it and say, well, that's kind of ridiculous. Well, Kirlian photography says, no, it's there. And the more righteous you are, the more filled with divine light you are, the more that light is apparent to anyone who's got eyes to see. The Bible says we do have eyes in our heart. I pray that the eyes of my heart would be enlightened. Paul prays that in Ephesians 1:17. So I believe all this stuff, all right? I believe it's all biblical. So there's natural frequencies. Okay, energy all has frequency, all right? So there's natural frequencies that God created, which all support the frequencies that are in our body. They support life. And that's why if you and I take a walk along the beach, it's soothing and healing to our entire beings because those energies are wave-like and God made them to support the biofield that radiates and the energy that radiates from our body. And then we have these man-made frequencies, things like 5G, Wi-Fi, etc. And they put our bodies into a fight or flight mode. They're very different. They're very damaging to our health. So Gia uses a patented proprietary blend of frequencies that will strengthen the body. They harmonize with the body. And I happen to have a Gia pendant on right now. And this has energy in it that's patented. And it's harmonious with the energy of my body. And it strengthens my body, strengthens the energy that radiates out from it. And, you know, Jesus was really big with energy healing. You know, woman came and touched him. He felt energy leave his body, go into her body. She was instantly healed. The Greek word in the New Testament for that is energus or energeia, and that meaning, and those are two forms of the same word. And the meaning of that word is active energy. So we are made up of active energy. Einstein said it, the Bible says it, Jesus manifested it. Divine healing, when I lay hands on people, the energy of God is flowing through my hands into a person, through your hands into a person, promoting healing in their body. All right. So I'm very, very big on energy healing. All right. And so these healing energy, this good energy for our bodies, is woven into all Gia's products, and it has a measurable biological effect as pictured below. So there's a person without a pendant on, like I just showed you mine. And here's a person who's worn a pendant for 15 minutes, a Gia pendant. And again, the effect on the blood just cleaned it up, made it flow so much more freely and easily. I see stuff like this and I say, I want that. So for the package that Charity's going to introduce you to a little bit later on, for under $1,000, you can get pendants in that package, plus the eye water units in that package, a whole slew of stuff's in that package. So you can taste, you can try all of these things, okay? And they have shields of different sorts that help reduce the impact of the radiation that's absorbed into, for example, your brain. If you've got your cell phone up to your head and it's turned on, it's emitting this energy, which is, in this case, heats up your brain, heats up your flesh, makes it red on the inside. That's how much hotter it is. But if you put a Gia shield on your iPhone and you hold it up to your ear, you'll notice that it reduced greatly the amount of negative energy going into your brain and affecting you in a negative way. So they have a host of shields that will protect your house, protect your phone, protect anything and everything that you own. So, because we're not going to get away from Wi-Fi, we're just going to have to find a way to live with it. And these shields are a way to live with it. Now, I mentioned that there's 3 patents by Smirnoff. So this, I'm going to show you a 90-second explanation of Gia's other 2 energy technologies that are woven into their product line, like their pendants and other things. Okay, so let's just take a look for 90 seconds. Ooh, let's see here. Here we go. All right.
MRET and ER.
If you've got a flat roof like this
Hey,
one
I don't
right
want
here,
that. I'm
and you
sorry.
don't want to
Give me
spend
1
tens
second.
or even
We'll get rid of
hundreds,
him.
1,000.
ERT. 2 of Gia's top technologies work together very harmoniously. Here's a very simple analogy and explanation to illustrate their functions. We know electromagnetic radiation is a threat to our health and wellness, and we need to protect ourselves. Let's compare it to the days of old, when a knight in shining armor needed to fend off the dangerous arrows of an attacker. Think of those arrows as EMR, or electromagnetic radiation. They represent the incoming threat. Gia's patented technology, MRET, has the ability to intercept that EMF arrow and essentially break off the sharp, dangerous tick, rendering it a relatively harmless stick. The other technology is energy resonance technology, or ERT, which reinforces the body's armor, or biofield. That armor needs to be kept strong and resilient so we are better equipped to battle stress and environmental forces. ERT keeps our armor strong and ready. So you end up with dual protection. MRED that thwarts incoming threats, and ERT, another that strengthens the body's defense mechanisms. Together, MRED and ERT are the optimal battle partners in the fight against electromagnetic radiation.
Okay, so so that is two other patents by Dr. Smirnoff.
We're gonna do some
You,
call.
we
got
need
some
to
pretty good
stop
lined
that.
up.
And I will have no idea what's
Stop.
coming. Nope.
Stop. Okay, so those two technologies are woven into the entire product line, which Charity will get into over the next few minutes. I'm just going to show you, I think, one more PowerPoint and turn it over to Charity. These four patents that Dr. Smirnoff has created, I can show them to you. This is Dr. Smirnoff. This is some information about him. Here are the four patents right there. This first one, there's the patent number. That's the water. We've already looked at that one. Here's electromagnetic radiation shielding material and devices. So if you click on this, what you're going to find, this is the actual patent filed with the U.S. Patent Office. So have we done our research? Is there science behind this? Is it valid? Do other people confirm it's valid? Yeah, the U.S. Patent Office confirms that it's valid, okay? So I just want you to know we've done our homework. These three patents right here are the three that are used in GEA's products. So Nobel Prize winner, three patents woven into a product line that produce tremendously healthy lifestyle. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and turn this over to Charity so she can tell you more about the products and some more testimonies from people. Go ahead, Charity.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dad. That is fascinating. I love the science. I love the quantum physics. I love that God created energy. So this was all his idea. Just to, clarify and confirm, obviously we are not medical doctors. This is not a medical device company. We make no medical claims. But we know that every good gift is from above. So we thank God for these gifts of healings. We all love miracles, but it says in Corinthians that God gave us miracles and gifts of healings. And gifts and healings is plural in the Greek. So there's all kinds of ways that God wants to heal us and help us and bless us. So that includes ultra hydrating water. This water goes into our cells 3 times better, and that's why we feel so much better on it. So the science is really interesting, but what does it actually look like in our lives? What are the results like day to day that because of these energetic frequencies and the water and the EMF protection? And I'm just going to share a couple of stories. I want to let you know, thank you guys for asking great questions. At the end, we will open it up for Q&A, so definitely feel free to write down your questions. You can raise your hand later or put them in the chat at the end of the time. We're happy to address them all. But I can just kind of just start by sharing my own testimony. I thought I was very healthy. I didn't really have any health complaints. I'm like, I don't need this water. I know about water. But I started drinking this single file lined water and I'm like, oh my goodness. I started waking up like before my alarm clock, totally refreshed, totally rested, feeling amazing. And like all day long, I was going strong. And it was February when I started drinking this water, and a few years back. And so in February in upstate New York, you go snowboarding. And so usually after my husband and I go snowboarding, I'm like tired. The end of the day, I'm sore. The next day is a rest day. But I was drinking this water and all of a sudden I had so much energy. I didn't get tired. I didn't get sore. The next day I like jump on the treadmill and go 5 miles. I'm like, oh my goodness, I think there's something to this water. So I was very excited and, I explored the other products that the company had. And so, for example, he was talking about frequencies in his pendant. And I just happened to go, like, we know about EMF protection. We know we need to protect ourselves from the 5G and the Wi-Fi. And I went to my kinesiologist, my chiropractor, and I was just wearing the necklace and it has the energetic frequencies. He was trying to muscle test me. And he's like, I can't get a week reading on you. Like everything is strong. And he's like, what are you wearing? And I'm like, oh, this strengthens my biofield. He's like, well, you need to take it off because it's making you too strong. And I'm like, isn't that amazing? I mean, I feel like Wonder Woman when I'm wearing it, and you are objectively telling me that energetically I am stronger. And so that got his attention, and I'm like, well, hey, because he's a little bit negative. He doesn't believe there is anything you can do about the 5G, the Wi-Fi. He's like, it's everywhere. You cannot possibly escape it or protect yourself. And I'm like, God always has an answer. There is always a solution. And I said, well, hey, the same company that makes this pendant that you say is affecting me so well, I said, they also make cell phone protection. So I'm like, okay, so why don't you muscle test me with this? And so he, it wasn't good enough. I had the phone and it wasn't good enough. He's like, well, this could be in your pocket all day long. And you're right. The case is fine. It protects you. That's really impressive just as is, but that wasn't good enough for him. He's like, you need to make a call. So I literally had to call his office line. And still, I am testing strong. I'm on a call. That was not good enough for him. He's like, you need to hold the phone up to your head while it is on a call. He's like, and he's trying to muscle test me and get a weak signal. And finally, when it was on a call right up to my head, I got a little bit weaker. And I'm like, hey, give me back my pendant. And so then I put the pendant on. Then with the cell phone protection, I was strong. He's like, no, let's do it with the other arm. He could not believe it. And I'm like, see, I said, that's why we want layered protection, because we're getting bombarded from all different places. Okay, I'm going to wear a necklace and I'm going to put something on my phone, right? And I'm going to drink the ultra hydrating water because EMFs dehydrate us. So I'm just going to do like all of the things. So I was very excited about that. And my other friends who are even more, sensitive to EMFs. My one friend, she would like, when she was like on her phone, she would literally feel nauseous. That's how it manifests. Some people, they feel anxious or irritable, but for her, she would feel sick to her stomach. So she put the little EMF protection sticker from Gia. Does it do anything? Well, yes, it mitigates and neutralizes the negative effects. Our body goes into fight or flight. And so again, we all kind of like react differently, but these little protective device things, stickers and cases that we can put on our phone, it makes our body not go into fight or flight, even though it's around us. And so it's kind of like sunscreen, right? The sunscreen that we put on ourselves, it doesn't take away the sun. It just changes how our body and our skin reacts to the heat of the sun, right? And that's what these products from Gia do. And the last testimony I'll share, there's so many, but I'm going to invite some of our other friends to share their own stories with you. But this one was one of my favorites, just illustrating how powerful our EMF protection is, the things that we put on our cell phones and our laptops, because we've tried a lot of these different things in the past, and the ones from Gia, they muscle test stronger than any other. And it was actually my online Bible school student, a CLU student, and she lives in Hawaii. And she knew that she was sensitive to EMF. She's tried other, devices for her phone and everything. And they actually moved to a new house. And all of a sudden she was having migraines. She was anxious. She started forgetting things. And she's like, oh my goodness, is this like Alzheimer's or dementia? I mean, she was very stressed out because it was everything. It was emotional. It was physical. And she actually thought her house was demonized. That's what she thought. So she did all the things, right? She prayed. She anointed the house with oil. She was praying and fasting. And she's like, and it didn't work. So yes, we pray, okay, and we believe for miracles, but when we don't get the results that we want right away, well, maybe there's some other things we can do. Maybe we can appropriate the other gifts of healings. So then she gets a package of Gia products. It's got the water, it's got the EMF protection, and she protects her devices, and she starts wearing the pendant. All of a sudden, the migraines go away. All of a sudden, she's peaceful. She sleeps through the night. She's getting along with her family members again. She's remembering her words again. She's like, oh my goodness, Charity, I thought it was demons and it was just EMFs. So I'm like, okay, thank you, God, for your gifts of healings. So we just want to be very wise in how we go through life and realize if there is something handed to us, this is not a hard thing. We're all drinking water already, right? We can put a sticker on our phone. We can wear a necklace. It's not like fasting 40 days. It's not really difficult. It's so fun to see what kinds of things that we can help people with without, I don't have a medical degree. I'm not a naturopath, but I can say, hey, you want to drink this kind of water? Hey, you want to wear this cool necklace? Okay. And then their whole entire life can be changed. And so I want to just invite some of my friends whose lives have been changed, who have been benefited and crazy amazing ways just to encourage you and inspire you. If it worked for them, then you should give it a try. You should just see if you don't get the same kinds of results. So I would like to first invite Miss Jovi, if she wants to unmute herself, raise her hand, come to the front of the screen. Miss Jovi is in California, and she has some really cool testimonies about what she experienced with the water.
Shalom. Well, I was not laughing, I tell ya, for a while. At least a year. I had a hard time getting out of bed, even after sleeping 10, 12 hours. Then paying $5,000 later with a natural path, no results. And I found out, okay, I mean, I was told I had early stage Hashimoto, thyroid, leaky gut, you name it, all the issue, which I was really healthy and all, and turned out it's a mold illness. Thankfully, last fall, we left our home in 10 days. And then I came across, it's such an answer prayer, Chia Wellness. I tried the whole thing, the patented proprietary blend, and I can't tell you, I was waking up 3 or 4 in the morning, and I was like, Peter, my husband, I want to go unpack boxes, and he's like, no, don't do that, because then I won't sleep. And so basically, I'm back, my energy's back, and I'm just excited to share with people, because if I can detox from mold, you can detox from all kinds of things on a cellular level every day. And it gave me so much freedom to just live and not be concerned about should I eat this or that or the EMF, this and that. Wow. Praise the Lord for this. Shalom.
Hey, thank you so much, Jovi. Yes, it is wonderful to have you part of the Gia family. Yes, it's a business, it's a ministry, it's a family. And we're so excited that it has helped you with various things. That is really cool. And I wanted to now invite Miss Tisa. She has an amazing testimony, even with working out and her personal trainer. There you are. You can unmute, my dear, and we will turn it over to you.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm just looking at my text from my trainer because I wanted to see what he would say. So I started drinking the water because Jovi's my daughter-in-law, and she lives down the street from my weight training at the Perfect Workout, which I love that workout. And so I'd go visit her and she would start giving me water to drink. And as soon as I'd drink one glass, she'd fill it up again. And then she'd send me home with bottles of water. And she was so excited about it. And I was just like, okay, well, I'll just drink the water. And about 3 weeks later, my trainer was, he was so mind blown by my continual increase of weights and length of time. The way it works is that you have 7 different machines you do in 20 minutes, and the goal is to reach muscle exhaustion at 1.5 minutes. So if you go longer than that, they're going to increase the weights the next week. But I was not only increasing the weights, but even when I would have a weight increase, my time was continually breaking the last time. So he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I don't know. I'm looking at, my protein and my fat and everything." And the next day I was in the shower and all of a sudden it dawned on me, oh, it's the water. And suddenly I was interested and I was invested. So I don't know, do you have that screenshot of the summary of this is from, oh, okay, go ahead and play this video. This is going to show my 3 of my exercises. This is the TSH is time static hold. And so what it's going to do, I'm going to highlight 3 of the exercises. It's going to show that line going perpendicular right there is the time that I started drinking the water. So you can see it going up. And then at the very end of the page on the right is January 20th. So we're going to see the amount of increase of weights. You'll see a little tag will pop up and it'll show the pounds that I was at November 4th when I started the water, and the pounds that I most recently was at 120.25. So go ahead and play that.
The time static hold.
I started the water around 11:04. So I was at 22 pounds with the static hold, and now I'm at 35. And then the Graviton, that one is the only one where the weight actually is improving if it goes downward, because it's means that you're lifting more of your own body weight in a pull-up. So I started on 11:4 at 145 pounds, and now I'm down to 130 pounds. So that means I'm carrying 15 more pounds of my own body weight. Then the big star of the show is the leg press. I started, well, I was at 325 pounds on the 6th of November, and now 2.5 months later, I'm at 375 pounds. That's a 50-pound increase.
Okay, and then you want to show the little picture of the.
This is the only one I've got, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I'll just basically say, there's just a whole bunch of increases of weight over that 2.5 month period. And then I'll go ahead and read what my trainer said, because I asked him, could you just write a little paragraph to explain, put things in perspective? And he said, Tisa has seen tremendous growth all across the board, whether it comes to upper body or lower body. Her most unprecedented growth amount comes from the leg press, in which in the short span of 5 months weight training, she has gone from a 225-pound press to a 375-pound leg press. I think that's 150 pounds. But he explains here how, even though it was only 50 pounds in the last 2.5 months over a 5 month period, he explains how even that is significant because of something that plateaus usually for people after the first couple of months. He says, typically we see clients progress start to slow down gradually after their first few months weight training, a phenomena lifters call the baby gains section of training. They call it this because the stimulus is new and your body sees a short stint of unprecedented growth as it adjusts to new stimulus and then levels out. However, for Tisa, she is now 5 months in with no signs of slowing down. Her absurd amount of growth is a testament to her hard work, both inside and outside of the weight room, and the intensity she approaches each session with. So I love Will, my trainer. He brings out this this hard work that he's talking about. But I'd also like to point out that, when you feel good, when your body is feeling good, you have so much more to give. When he says you got one more in you, I just do it. But I know that this is, this is a huge difference in my body's ability to respond to that desire to show up. And so I really, also in that first 3 weeks of drinking the water, I dropped 10 pounds and have pretty much stabilized at that weight, even after the holidays, going up and down. And yeah, it has impacted my sleep and my energy. Like Jovi, I'm getting up at like 5:30 in the morning and I'm so alert. And so, yeah, so that's my progress.
Yay, that is awesome, Tisa. Thank you so much for sharing that. I do love your testimony because a lot of times we think of, people who aren't feeling well. Like we've, had people who are on dialysis and, they start drinking the water and their doctor tells them you don't come in for dialysis as often anymore because the doctor is telling them that their kidneys are getting better. Or, my friend, she had heart palpitations and the doctors couldn't figure out what it was, but she got on the water and with the pendant and all of a sudden the heart palpitations go away. And, one of my friends, their dad, he was in his 90s, so he used a walker because, he was in his 90s, but he got on the water, he got on the pendant, all of the things, and then he was able to walk without his walker. So I love that we're able to help people that are not in a great space, like come over into health. But when you're like Tisa and you're already doing good, oh my goodness, let's take it to the next level and let's like leg press 375 pounds or whatever crazy thing. Absurd. That's what her trainer noticed. Absurd growth, amazing progress. And I love, again, it was sort of like my chiropractor is an objective person just saying, wow, I see a difference here. So that is such a cool cool testimony, Tisa. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then the last one of that we'll share for right now, Miss Deb Richardson. Washington State is in the house, and she also has several different testimonies. So Deb, if you are here, you can unmute, you can raise your hand and come to the front. I saw you earlier, so I know you're here somewhere. Deb.
I'm here.
Yay! There you are, my dear. You have the floor.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to have to get back in the gym and test myself.
Woohoo!
But when I started drinking the water, the reason I got the water was because I was having trouble with dehydration last year. And it really didn't matter how many electrolytes or different electrolytes I tried and how much water I was drinking, I was not getting hydrated. So that was my major purpose, to jump into the iWater. And within a week to 7 days, I felt a lot more hydrated. Like Jovi, my BMs were smoother. Yeah, it just really totally changed. But I also use the iWater for other things. I use the iWater for my plants, and I have to give a tremendous testimony for my Christmas tree, which is totally unbiased. All you can see is the results. I used iWater for my Christmas tree. I put it up the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, took it down the first Saturday of January, and oh my goodness, it was just as live as the day I brought it in the house. I couldn't believe it. So I should have sent you guys the video. I made a video because I knew people would not believe me. And it's just bouncy. I run my hand across the branches and no needles were dropping. It's amazing. So that's my iWater story. As far as iThrive, I think is my favorite product. I think, although it's really hard to try to pin it down to one favorite. I told Charity when I bought my package, oh, I don't need that iThrive. I've got the best powdered supplements and I won't be needing it. So anyway, I used the bottle that came in the package and I didn't order any more. And about 3 weeks later, it was, oh my gosh, where did my energy go? I hadn't realized that not only the energy, but also I had quit snacking. The cravings for sweets had gone away. And I wasn't searching through the house in the middle of the afternoon trying to figure out what can I snack on. So that's iThrive has really helped me in that area. And I can't talk about the Thrive without talking about the Cleanse, because they go hand in hand. The Cleanse for me helped my digestive system. I had much less bloating. And I also realized at the end of November and the first part of December that I was starting to drop a couple pounds here and there, and I hadn't even changed the way I was eating. I went through the holidays, did not gain any weight. I just am stabilizing, and I think I've lost another pound or two. So plus the fact that knowing that I have a gentle detox going on continually in my cells, day in and day out, 24/7. Who doesn't need that?
Yes, exactly. And one of my favorites, you had so many stories, but your friends have also been telling you, hey, you look like you're aging in reverse, Deb. You're getting younger and younger every time we see you. So yes, that's another perk of hydration, because what's the difference between a grape and a raisin? It's just water. So in Gia, we don't want to be raisins. We're all just grapes. So you are a great example of that, Deb. Thank you so much for sharing. That's awesome. There are lots more testimonies. We're going to send you guys a video, like a replay of this, so that you can look at things more, and there'll be more testimonies, like a file you can, like in Dad's blog, there's more there. You can look through that. But now I actually want to invite Sue Johnson. She has been with the company for like over 10 years. She does this full time. She's the one who kind of taught us everything that we know about Gia. So Sue, I would like to turn it over to you if you want to just share your experience, why you got into the company, your story with us.
Well, mine's an interesting story. I've been loving the testimonials that we've been hearing. And over time, my reason for doing this has obviously changed. You know, hearing the impact that the eye water and the other products, the nutritionals, the skincare, etc., have had on people are just so heartwarming. But if I'm honest, when I first started, I was in a situation where I had a bricks and mortar store, and obviously the rent on that to pay. I had just opened the doors up, and we had financial issues at the home, and I just wasn't able to make ends meet. I needed another stream of income. I was desperate. So a friend of mine walked through the doors at my store that I had, and she said, I'm making XYZ in this company about this water, blah, 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 and the Celgar, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't interested in the water. I thought, you can make some extra money. I can do that. If she can do it, I know I can. You know, it's just the way it went. So I jumped in with 2 feet. I figured I'm already falling in debt. I might as well throw it a little bit more on the credit card. And it was the best thing I ever did. You know, over time, you know, I learned about the water. I learned about the cell phone protection and things like that. And I just went, oh, thank God it was her who walked in my door, because I would have jumped into any opportunity at the time because I was just desperate for that income. And I did not make a mistake. You know, I look back over the years, this company has just, yeah, GIA, growth, inspiration, and abundance. You know, growth in our health and well-being with what we've heard about from all these amazing testimonials. And there will be many, many more charity will send out. Inspiration, helping us to live our best life, helping us to grow into the humans we're meant to be, helping us move forward, always growing, always growing. And then, of course, abundance. You know, GIA does reward us beautifully, blesses us every time we have somebody join us and we share with GIA, etc. It's one of the highest network marketing companies out there that actually pay back to their consultants. And it has just been a blessing to work with my team over the last decade, like Mark, like Charity, etc. But the one special thing about this company as well is Karen, who's on with us tonight, and I know Charity is going to turn it over to her in a minute. We have no financial benefit to each other whatsoever. But if there's one thing I can confidently do, if I have somebody over in Karen's area and I ask Karen to sit down and share GIA with them, she will do exactly that as if it was her own person, knowing she's not earning a penny. That's how this company comes together. So a little bit more than my story, but I really wanted to touch on the heart of GIA, especially on the heels of the conference we've just come back from, hugging and meeting all the new people that have just joined in the past few years, etc. It's just been such a blessing. So again, I thank God for, you know, having that particular friend walk through my doors at my store that day, because life would have been so very different if it had been anything else. So back to you, Charity.
Awesome. Well, yes, I like that your story is different from the others. And another lady that we do want to introduce is Karen Knott. So yeah, she's like you. She's been with the company for like over 10 years. So when we do our Q&A a little bit later on, we're just going to turn it over to Karen and Sue to answer all of your hard questions. But Karen, if you would like to just share a little bit of your journey, why you got into GIA, maybe some of your, you know, favorite product testimonials that your family has experienced.
There are so many. So first of all, I just want to say Sue touched on the community of GIA, and having just come from this conference, I'm looking at my brand new family members on here and how much fun we had and how we connected. So that piece of it for me is as important as anything else, because I found this company. My story actually begins about 20 years ago. I have a very big, large family, and I had a niece that was ill for many, many months, undiagnosed, and then they determined she had a malignant brain tumor, and it was like overnight, everybody's life changed. She went in for surgery the next morning, and there was like a lot of us there, and this poor neurosurgeon that came out just started getting peppered with questions. But like I said, keep in mind, this was about 20 years ago, and the question that put me on the path to where I am today was, someone asked, was she born with this? Where did it come from, this malignant brain tumor? And he said, I don't know, but get those phones away from your head. This was 20 years ago, where our phone was just a phone. It wasn't a computer that we could run a business on. And I don't think any of us in that room had any idea what he was even talking about. So I became passionate about learning everything I could about the term EMFs, electromagnetic fields. And from And even back then, there was a lot of research about the negative impact that this has on our body. And coming forward, we've talked about and I always like to say my Cliff Notes version of what I've learned and continue to learn is that it's a stressor. It's a man-made frequency. And Mark and Charity, you both so eloquently described what happens to our bodies when our natural God-given frequency is bombarded by this man-made, what we call non-native frequency. And it sends our body into fight or flight. And I read somewhere, and I'm so sorry I don't have the resource where I learned this, but Mark, you also mentioned inflammation, and lots of researchers now, whether they be Western medicine or homeopathic, will say that the root of all illness is inflammation and oxidative stress. Well, this negative energy coming in puts our bodies in the state of fight or flight, which raises that is stress. There's no other way to put it. It's just stress on our bodies. So I've spent all this time learning all kinds of modalities now, besides our company of how we can mitigate stress, how we can eliminate. As Mark said, we are subjected to so many toxins now. So that's just kind of my story about learning about the negative effect and searching for a company that had scientifically validated, proven technologies that could mitigate this harmful effect and the stress on our body. So that kind of takes me to one of my very favorite stories. I have hundreds, but I had a GIA gathering in my home, and I had a young girl here. Her and her mom came, and her whole family was plagued with different health issues. And she sat here. They came early, and they were the last ones to leave. And when everyone was gone, she came up to me and she said, Karen, and she was 14 at the time, I want you to know that I have anxiety so bad that I spend 15 minutes out of every hour in a full-blown panic attack. And she was 14. And I just thought, oh my. And I said, you've been here like about 3 hours. How are you? And she said, I've been perfectly fine here. And I said, well, the good news is if you're fine in my house, you can be fine in your own house. So I sent her and her mom home with pendants, and with the plan that I would go there like in 6 days, and we'd go through their house and see how we could protect them from EMFs. I joined the company before we even had the water, so I'm kind of focusing more on the EMF piece of this. I went to their house 6 days later, and I said, how have you been, honey? And she said, I've only had one panic attack since I saw you 6 days ago. So I use the term life-changing a lot with all these products because that changed that little girl's life, and it changed that whole family's life. And that was, as you pointed out, our pendants. I think every one of us wears a pendant, and that mitigates this stress that is putting us into fight or flight that we've got to mitigate. And on that same vein, I'm going to share another really quick testimonial. And Deb, I love your testimony about thinking that we don't need these nutritional products, but we first need to stop that impact on every cell in our body from the EMFs. And then we have this profound water technology that can then come in, hydrate us, and pull the toxins out. And I'm really passionate about all the toxins that we're exposed to and how everything we can layer on with GIA and everything we can mitigate and take out of our life that is a toxin is wonderful. But my other story is I have a daughter who's very high stress job, works with kids on the autism spectrum, and she had just lost all of her energy, all of her vitality. Western medicine, 3 different doctors just gave her more antibiotics, but they couldn't tell her what was wrong with her. So I begged her, please go to my naturopath. And she did. And in the first visit, he diagnosed her with pesticide poisoning and mercury poisoning. And if you're familiar with dumping heavy metals, some people spend their entire lives trying to dump heavy metals. It's very difficult to clear those from your body. She went into a deep detox program with him. She was seeing him every 6 weeks, and her numbers were coming down incrementally every 6 weeks. And about 3 or 4 months into it, maybe 6 months, I mean, she was diligent because she knew she had to regain her health. We came out with Cleanse. Cleanse was a brand new launch at that time. It had a weight loss program affiliated with it. So she decided she was going to do this weight loss program where 2 days a week, you basically have Cleanse in the eye water with a little eye thrive. And in 6 weeks, she went back to him, and he just kept retesting and retesting. her pesticide levels had gone to zero in that 6-week time frame. And he just kept testing, saying, this can't be. What are you doing? And so she told him what she was doing. She went out to her car, grabbed her cup so he could test that. And our naturopath did come on board, I'd say within the week, because he'd never seen anything like it. So I love Deb's testimony about every day we're bombarded with toxins, and this is just our consistent daily detox. So those are a couple of my favorite stories.
Oh my goodness, Karen, thank you so much. That is amazing. I love that story about detoxing because, yes, I've done lots of cleanses, lots of detoxes, and they're not fun. Usually they're really gross, they don't taste good, and it takes a long time, just like she was experiencing. But this cleanse, it's so easy and it actually tastes good. So I love there's an easy way to do things and a hard way to do them. And so I love that testimony. Thank you so much for sharing. So yes, so as you can see, Karen and Sue know a lot, and we are going to open it up for Q&A at the end, but I know that one question that everybody has is, what does it cost? So that's the first one that we want to address, just to be mindful and respectful of everybody's time. We want to address that, and then if you need to hop off, like right at the 90 minutes, we totally understand, but we'll keep it open for Q&A kind of as long as people want to, because we just want to make it interactive and be as helpful to you as possible. So we have some sheets that Dad is going to bring up on screen, and we're going to actually email this to you tomorrow so that you'll have these links. You can click on them. These prices are in US dollars, but it's for Canada, Australia, New Zealand. There are packages. So the big one, it's a gold package. This is ideal for a family or for a business builder. It's $3,200 worth of product retail, but it's discounted to just $1,997. So it is a huge savings, $1,100 off. And right now there's actually a 10% discount. So just knock another $200 off from that. So the really nice thing is you receive 30% off of your orders for a whole entire year. And you're also set up to be a consultant where you can actually earn extra commissions if you share this with other people. So a lot of people do like that because when we have good news, we share it with other people. Dad, if you just want to scroll down a little bit, there's a picture of the items. So yes, it's just like if you go to a good movie and you tell your friends about it. If you eat at a restaurant, you like the food, you share that with your friends and family. When we have experienced something that has helped us, of course, how could we keep that good news to ourselves? So this is one of the most popular discounted packages in Gia. And I can just go through these items. You get this whole suite of products, and you can come back to me, Dad, and I'll just kind of show you guys these things. This is the eye water. Like Dad said, the eye water unit, the activator, and this just comes off. Okay, and you put your good filtered water in here, and 30 minutes later, it's activated. It's single file aligned. The amazing thing about this pitcher is it actually lasts you 39 years if you make a pitcher a day. Okay, so you're probably going to make 2 or 3 pitchers a day. And in which case, this is going to last you what, 15 years, 20 years? So this is very much a long-term investment. There are no filters. There are no cartridges. And so you can get this and you can hook your whole family up. It's not obviously for you, it's for your whole family, and you're getting the amazing benefits of the single file aligned water. So you get the activator in the gold pack, and you get a cool glass water bottle because it's best to have either glass or BPA-free plastic instead of putting the water in metal containers, just because it deactivates. It just kind of makes it regular water faster. But just like some of these testimonies about the psoriasis, Dad's skin issues, you get spray bottles. You get 3 different sizes of this, so you just keep it. I always have one in my handbag, so you spray for like bug bites, for burns, for skin irritations of any kind, cuts and scrapes, all of the things. So just always have this with you, and you spray. I was out at coffee, and the lady I met, my friend who I met for coffee, on her way to Starbucks, okay, her cat scratched her, and it was red, and it was not, and I whipped this out, spray, and she's like, oh. Immediately, she felt the difference. She's like, what in the world? I'm like, yeah, that's our holy water. That's our miracle water, okay, our single file aligned water. So that's kind of the most important piece, but I Thrive, Deb was just talking about, It's this, okay? This is a 1 month supply, and this is how we can get our vitamins and antioxidants, and they are in the single file aligned water with the energetic frequencies that make it super bioavailable. We could take a handful of pills. I'm sure if you're like me, you have in the past handfuls of supplements. Rather than doing that, I would much rather take a capful, 1 ounce, and get all of it. And it's going to go into my cells 3 times better than the handful of pills. Even if I had the same milligrams of the vitamins, it's going to get into my cells better because it's going to be in the single file aligned water with the energetic frequencies. They say it's like the username and password into our cells. It unlocks our cells and then it delivers the nutrition. So you take a capful of this and then you take a capful of this. This is the cleanse. Again, this is a 1 month supply. Just put an ounce in the eye water. This tastes delicious. I'll just share. I mean, this has changed my life. I've had a stellar diet. Okay. I eat organic, whole foods, all the things. But first of all, my weight didn't change at all. Like so I went from being a vegetarian for like 15 years. Then I'm like, okay, I'm not losing weight. Let me do keto. Okay, completely opposite diet programs. My weight does not shift at all. And in addition to that, like I would eat like an organic spinach salad, okay? Super healthy. And I looked like I had a balloon in my tummy. It was just horrible. I'm like, something is wrong. My diet is fine. There's something broken inside of me. Okay, so whatever it was, this fixed it. I had tried digestive enzymes. I had tried probiotics. I had tried so many different things, okay? And this, oh my gosh, I can have a flat stomach in the morning and I can eat a meal and it's still flat. Imagine that. Okay, so cooling, so soothing, so calming. And so it's great for digestion, for elimination, and for weight loss. If you're like me and you don't read the directions correctly, I meant to do the cleanse like Karen was talking about. And I'm like, oh, I'll just do like 4 ounces a day, which is not really the right way to do it. And I never even fasted. I just, kept eating and exercising, same as I'd always done. Just added 4 ounces of this delicious awesomeness to my day. And the weight started like melting off, which I know is very obnoxious because that is not what weight does, but it did. Okay. Like I didn't change my diet or exercise, but like I lost a pound a week for 12 weeks. I was so excited. And this just proves to me that it literally is cleansing the toxins because God has designed our body. Fat is to protect us. Like when we take in toxins, oh my gosh, God wants us insulated from that toxicity. So the toxins get encapsulated in a fat cell so it doesn't hurt us or harm us. So, oh my goodness, this is going into my body, cleaning out the toxins. Oh, well then the fat, there's no need for it to be there anymore. So then it can just go away. So I am in love with this. You would think it's my most favorite product, but there's one that's even more favorite, okay? Edge. It's a pill. It's like a supplement, okay? And it's got this thing in it, Texo-E. I don't know what it is. I've never had it in any other supplement. It's all natural. And this is my favorite thing that I never want to be without. Okay. It's for recovering naturally from stress. So like physical stress, like working out and exercise. Yeah, it's great for that. But like, how about emotional stress, mental stress, psychological stress, the stress of living on planet Earth? Okay, this is my love and joy and peace and patience in a bottle. It just like makes the stress. Oh, it's water off a duck's back, right? I'm so much nicer when I take this. And I just thank God for his gifts of healings. Okay. It says in Psalms that God gives herbs for the service of mankind. So I'm going to appropriate this gift of healing. And again, thank God, because every good gift is from above. So we've got the activator, we've got the nutritionals, but with the gold pack, you get the other goodies. Okay. I would say after the water, the best thing, the most important, powerful thing is the pendant. Okay. And so in this gold package, you actually get 2 pendants. They're just like this, except for they're silver. So they're beautiful for men or women. And you get 2 of them. So it's perfect for a husband and a wife, or you can get one and then you can turn around and sell one if you're a business builder. And this, we have so many testimonies about this. It just calms people down. Like emotionally, it also gives them even physical balance, strength, all kinds of testimonies. So So the water and the pendant are my two kind of most favorite products, but we talked about EMF protection, right? Remember my kinesiologist, my chiropractor, he's like, he couldn't believe that my phone was protected. It's this. It's just this little tiny sticker. You put it on the outside of any cell phone, any case that you have, okay? And it will protect it. It will mitigate and neutralize the negative effects of 5G radiation. And so your body isn't getting fried and burned because of it. You get 4 of these because you know you have more than one cell phone in your house. Okay, so everybody needs their devices protected. So this is for cell phones, the little stickers, but then there's bigger things. And this, it's not this whole thing. This is a speaker. Okay, everything wireless in your house, it needs one of these. And it's this. Okay, this is a little universal guard. This lasts 3 years. You stick it on wireless speakers, you stick it on your Wi-Fi router, you put it on your wireless printer, you put it on your laptop, okay? And so again, we're not going to stop using all of our wireless devices, so we just need to protect ourselves from them and help us survive and thrive in a wireless world. So you get 4 of these. You're going to put the first 2 on your wireless router, and then you have another one for your laptop. You have another one for your speaker. So you want to get a bunch of those. But then what if you have little tiny devices? Okay, then they've got little baby stickers. Okay, it's like they go on your cell phone, but this goes on your earbuds. Okay, these are my earbuds. You get the little stickers. It can go on hearing aids. Okay, it goes on smartwatches. These are devices that we literally put and attach to ourselves. They, more than anything, need to be protected because we just wonder, why are we anxious? Why are we stressed out? Oh my goodness. If you look at the rate, we're not making any medical statements, but if you just connect the dots, okay, we are the most of any generation that has ever lived on planet Earth. We are the ones who are assaulted. This constant barrage of electro pollution, right? And then you wonder why ADD, why autism, why anxiety and depression, why all of these things skyrocketed. Oh, well, wireless devices everywhere. They have no idea what it's doing to us. Well, let's protect ourselves. There are things that we can do. There are solutions to protect ourselves. So there are things you can wear that you put on your cell phones, your Wi-Fi routers, and this is something you plug into a wall. It's called a home harmonizer. They say it's like a pendant for your house, okay? And so it just creates a harmoniously energetic atmosphere. Put one in your bedroom, put one in your home office, wherever you spend the most amount of time, and when you plug it into the wall, it will also take care of dirty electricity. I love the stories about the Christmas tree, the pictures of plants, because we know, plants, little kids, animals, they don't make stuff up. And one of these was plugged into a wall, and there was a little dog, and the dog was very sick. What did the dog instinctively do? He came into the room where a home harmonizer was plugged in. He plopped himself right underneath the outlet because the dog knew those energetic frequencies were going to strengthen him and help him accelerate healing. So these are amazing, and you actually get 2 of these in the gold pack. Then you leave your house. And so then your harmonizer's at the house, but you can get this. It's a car harmonizer, okay? It can just go on your keychain. And again, it's just, there's so much EMFs in our car, right? With the navigation system, you're driving down the road, there's the cell towers, there's all of these things. We want to create like a layered approach, not just one thing. Oh my goodness, I don't know where you guys live. I'm in upstate New York, and we have had some snow this winter. And when I go out in the snow, I don't just wear a coat. I wear a coat and a hat and boots and gloves. And so what does that mean? When I go into the snowstorm, into the blizzard of 5G radiation that is life on planet Earth right now, what am I going to have? I'm going to have a car harmonizer, and I'm going to have a home harmonizer, and I'm going to have something on my phone, and I'm going to have something around my neck, because it's all of these things that are going to protect me in like a 360-degree layered way. They work synergistically together. So I don't just want one. I want all the things, because I'm worth it and you're worth it, and you can't put a price tag on your health. And then we were just, like they were saying, we were just at a conference in California, and I'm most excited about, like the water and the EMF protection, but we got to hear they have skincare. And the co-CEO, brilliant scientist guy, he explained why they developed their skincare and the nutritionals for that matter. And he went literally line by line. we wanted to address inflammation. So that's why there's this, turmeric or whatever. We wanted to address this. That's why there's aloe. And he said the exact same thing for skincare. He's like, your skin is the biggest organ of your body. And so this is literally food for your skin. They chose all of the ingredients in the skincare to bring you into a better place of health and wellness, not just aesthetics and beauty, which is great, but actually to make you healthier. And so then you get a lot of their skincare products. The cleanser, it almost feels like a lotion. It's so soothing. And yeah, multivitamin hydrating face wash. You get the cleanser, and then their two most popular, oh my goodness, you get a serum and you get a radiance fluid. And I love to actually like mix these two together. It's got botanicals in it. And this stuff, again, it's in the single file aligned water, right? My skin has been so sensitive in the past. I have had to be very careful of what I use. And either my skin, I use something and it's still totally dry, and it's just flaking off and red and horrible, or I have to put so much stuff on. It's like greasy and just like, ugh. And so this, oh my goodness, this I can use, and it's literally hydrating from the inside out. And again, since we love objective testimonies, a super fun one, I was invited to be an expert on a documentary series, and they flew me to the studio wherever they were recording it. And I walk in, and like the official like makeup artist lady person, she's like, oh my goodness, your skin is amazing. She's like, what do you have on? And I'm like, moisturizer. She's like, oh my goodness, you must spend so much on your skincare, or you must drink a lot of water. I'm like, let me tell you about my skincare and my water. So I just loved that this is their field, they're an expert, and they are saying, wow, your skin is healthy. So you get all of those. And then the last thing you get, oh my goodness, the exfoliator, which is amazing. It's very, very fine. You just use it once or twice a week, and it's amazing. You'll love it. You can even mix it with the cleanser if you want. So you get all of these things. And so again, it's like $3,200 worth of products, normally discounted to $2,000. And just take another 10% off. Okay, so now it's down to $1,800 for $3,200 worth of products. The most amazing thing for you guys, it's really awesome timing that God just orchestrated this because he loves you and he wants you healthy. Gia actually is needing to raise their prices in February. They haven't raised them in a decade, and they were going to raise them in January, and I think they knew that we were having this event, and so they wanted to give you guys the lower prices. So all of these prices are good until the end of the month. And then in addition to that, they gave us the sale price on top of the current lower prices. So it's never going to be a better time to invest in your health. The prices are not going to be any lower. Dad, if you want to put that other screen back up again, we'll show the other package. So these are the two most popular discount packages. Most everyone who's joined our team has gotten one of these packages. So there's the big gold package that we just looked at, and then a manager pack. Now, again, this is a lot of products, $1,700 worth of products, just $1,000. Right there, you're already saving over 40%. And this is really the least expensive way to get the most amount of products. It does lock you in with a 30% discount for an entire year. It does set you up to receive commissions. Again, these prices are in US dollars, but there are packages for Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. There's monthly payment plans, okay? And there is even a 30-day money-back guarantee. So I love that we can offer that because then you're able to try everything risk-free. So if you want to just kind of scroll down, I'll just tell you, you're getting some of the things. You're getting the activator system. That's the most important. You are getting the iThrive, which is the energy drink. That's all of the vitamins, a month supply. You're not getting the cleanse, but you're going to get the exfoliator and the serum and fluid. Okay, not the cleanser, but you're getting a few of the products. You're going to get a cell guard for your phone. Okay, so you're not going to get 4 of them, but you will get one. The pendant, you'll get one classic silver pendant, not 2, but 1. And 1 is a great place to start. And the universal guards, which you need for your computers, your Wi-Fi, all of those things, you get 2. With the big pack, you get 4. This one, you get 2. And Edge, my favorite supplement, the other package, you get a 30 count bottle, and this one you get 12. So this is a great place to start. Whichever one of those looks good to you, you can definitely think about it. pray about it. I love that we do have the sale, and it actually goes all the way through February 2nd, okay, at 5 o'clock Pacific time, because that's there in California. So you don't have to rush through it. We're going to send you this information so you can even click on the links. And I will tell you when you click on the link, for example, the activator link, it's going to take you to the website and you're going to see the activator. How much does that cost? $925 retail. $925, which, you know what? It's worth it. It's going to last you 39 years. But when you can buy the activator for $925 retail, or you can get the entire manager pack right now for only $900, it's kind of a no-brainer. The 10% off does apply to these two packages. It's when you spend $1,000 or more that the 10% discount kicks in. So we just wanted you to be aware of that. And what we want you guys to do is, whoever invited you to this Zoom, if your friend texted you or sent you an email with the link, we want you to reach back to them and ask them your questions, tell them what you're most interested in. Maybe you just want to start with the Cleanse and I Thrive. If that's where you're at, great. They will help you get the best price for whatever products it is that you want. So I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited to get this information into your hands. I believe that everybody who tries it, your health is going to be transformed. We want to hear the testimonies. We're going to add it. Dad has this whole list. We've got like a dozen pages of all of these stories, and we would love for your testimony to be next. So definitely feel free to, tomorrow we're going to send you the email. Okay. It's going to have a replay of this. If you're like, oh my goodness, you thought of somebody you wanted to share it with, somebody should have been on this webinar. Feel free to forward them the email. They can get in on this same price. Again, it's all the way through the end of the month to February 2nd. And then if you just click reply to the email, okay, it will just come to me. It's going to be coming from Mark and Charity, okay? charity@glorywaves.org. So if you don't see an email tomorrow, check your spam. It might go there, okay? But we will be happy to get that information out to you. And so for those who need to jump off. No, I said we were going to try to keep it to around 90 minutes, but we do want to open up to Q&A. Sometimes that's the most fun of all. I know a lot of questions have been answered in the chat as we're going along. But Sue, I would like to invite you to unmute, and if you want to help address some of these questions, if they haven't gotten addressed already, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Charity. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm just been trying, Mark as well. Thank you. You've been staying on top of those questions in the chat mostly with me. I do think up to speed, we've covered most of them as such. The last one here is, so 3 packs are manager 900, the silver 13.99. No, the silver is $12.47 regularly, if I'm not mistaken, and at 10% off, that'd be $120 some off. And then the gold pack $197. So basically the manager pack would be $1,000 regularly, and they're offering us a 10% discount for this for those that have joined us tonight. So that's what brings it down to $900. The gold pack, as Charity mentioned, $19.97, is another $200 off. So we are getting an extra 10% off that as well for those that have joined us tonight. And those prices are running through, as she said, till the end of the month. And we can also worry about next weekend too, if you're a Monday to Friday and so busy. So, okay, to speak to the quality of the acrylic container, yes, I don't believe you activate the water in the pitcher. It's a 30-minute cycle. I have been quite happy for the past 10 years drinking out of this acrylic pitcher without any concerns whatsoever. It's BPA free, so it's not leaching anything in. And Karen, I think you're the same. You've always used your acrylic pitcher, but you can transfer it to a glass pitcher of your choice. The only thing we say is do not keep the water once it's activated in a metal container, because the metal will really start deactivating the water straight away. Little bit more education that I've learned more recently as such in the last year as such is water molecules are always trying to pull apart from each other. Even at the end of the 30-minute cycle, those water molecules have been moving around to get in line. But as soon as it stops, they are wanting, it's their nature to pull apart, which is why it doesn't become a solid. So that's why if you were to, and the question did come up in the comments here, if you were to leave it on the counter, it would last you about 2 to 3 weeks, room temperature. If you put it in the fridge, it's physics, right? Things move slower. So the pulling apart, the moving around of the cells will be slower. So it would be more like a 3 to 4 week if it's in the fridge. If you were to heat it up, the opposite happens, of course, because now they're moving around faster, they're bumping into each other quicker, and things they're moving apart. If you boil the water, you may have 20 minutes to 2 hours, depending. Coming back to, either 2 to 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, you're not going to make a jug of water and leave it 3 weeks to drink at the end of the day. So not to worry about that. All right. I will take the gold package. Woohoo! Okay, Lillian, you'll have to connect as such. As Charity said, you can reply to the email. We'll get you sorted on that. The great news, guys, as far as Australian and New Zealand, because I think there is some New Zealand on here as well, or Canadian and US, those numbers you saw tonight are in your country's currency. Okay, so that'll be 1,997 minus the 10% in Canadian dollars, not US converted. That is a blessing right now. Coming back from the States as a Canadian on holiday. Woof. Yeah. And the same thing with Australia or New Zealand. Whatever country you're in, it's the currency of where we're shipping to that you're paying. Okay? Questions are flying in quickly now. So the difference between all the packs, Betty, would be that the contents of the pack, and again, we wouldn't have the time to go through that again right now, but we can definitely look into it. Let us know what your favorite product was that you heard about tonight, and that way we can help guide you to what would be the best package. Next one here, does this replace the need for hydrogen water? Karen, let's hear from you on that one, my gorgeous.
Okay.
The sciencey one opposed to me.
Okay, I think I am very familiar with hydrogen water. I have a hydrogen water bottle, so I know, the benefits of hydrogen water. Again, you're adding more oxygen into your water, into your body, but hydrogen also is a gas that dissipates almost immediately. So what I do is I activate my water first. I take my eye water and then put it in the hydrogen water bottle, because that is something, then I drink it immediately after it is activated. So you don't want to take your hydrogenated water, because by the time it runs through the 30-minute time frame in the eye water system, the hydrogen will have evaporated out of there. So just take your activated water, put it into the hydrogen bottle. And another thing, Sue, I just wanted to mention real quickly, because there was some concern about the acrylic pitcher. That acrylic pitcher is not just an acrylic pitcher. That has been, every product that leaves GIA has our ERT, our energy component to it. And that specific pitcher, when the top is on, you have your water in there, the sound waves and the frequencies bounce off of that pitcher. So I don't want anyone to think they could take some other pitcher, fill it with water, and activate their bottle, because that has happened once before. We didn't make it clear and somebody was just putting the head onto bottles of water. It needs to be in our pitcher that has the technology in it.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for that. And you're right. I'd forgotten to mention about the ERT that we have in the picture. So that's beautiful. Scrolling through the comments again, I see that iPhone de Cassandra, you're near Montreal in Quebec. That's wonderful. I'm assuming bilingual, but we do have French-speaking consultants. If that's your native language is such that you'd prefer to speak in French, we can help you there as well. I hope I'm not speaking too fast, because I do that often, bless you. So yes, definitely. So be reaching out to us. As I say, when Charity gets that email out to you guys, we are ready for you. Okay, the quality of the picture we've covered. Great, great, great. Scroll down here. Thank you, Karen. Bless from Bella. Thank you. All righty. So are there any other questions? If anyone would like to hit the raise your hand button, and I see one just popped in here, but raise your hand as well, and we don't mind bringing you on for your question. What type of container would we want to use for giving it to people to try it after it's been activated? Glass or aluminum, you say plastic pitchers, okay. Because again, we do have something called Operation Hydration, which helps us to share the good news of GIA by getting jugs of water out to people. In the States, which the majority I think of you are, like the Crystal Geyser spring water that you purchase, that's what we would use. They're BPA free, and therefore they're not going to be leaching. We make up 2 jugs of what Charity held up, and that is your gallon of water, 4 liters for Canada and Australia, New Zealand. It's fun. I speak 2 languages too, Canadian and American, bless my heart. I love it. But yeah, so we just replace that water into the jugs, maybe even put a pretty bow on it, make it all pretty, because what we're offering these people could change it will change their lives if they see the value in what we're offering to them. But we have a whole system for that, and we'll teach you that once you've joined, and it's all good. I hope that answers your question. Okay, cool. Excellent. Excellent. Right. Well, nobody's putting up their hand, so I think we could be at the end of our question period here right now, Charity. So I'll turn it back over to you, my love.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You can see, yeah, Sue knows everything. So we'll put her email address and phone number in the email tomorrow. So if you want the scoop from her, it will be there as well. But again, whoever invited you to this webinar, definitely just reach back to them. Let them know what you are most interested in, and they will be happy to hook you up with the best prices for whatever it is that you would like the most. So I think that's all. I will turn it back over to Dad. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. Dad, if you want to unmute, that would be great. Thank you for having us.
Okay, well, Charity talks twice as fast as I do. I think I used to talk that fast when I was younger, but I've slowed down now. And Karen and Sue, thank you so much. And Charity, all three of you for everything you shared is fantastic. I'm very thrilled with it. Obviously, you're probably recognizing you could create an income stream from this if you decide you want to share this with people. Gia pays very, very, very well. And you say, well, is it okay if I get paid for, helping somebody get healthy? Isn't that kind of using them or something? Well, I hope it's not a sin to get paid for helping people, because I've been in the ministry all of my life and I've got a salary every single week from the ministry. So I help people. So if getting paid for helping people is a sin, then I've been in sin for 40, 50 years now. So I don't think it's a sin. I think the workman's worthy of his hire. I think if you're sharing good news and you're helping lift a person's life, nothing wrong with you getting paid for that. You say, yeah, but I'm not sure I can trust the person. Well, if you don't think you trust them, then you shouldn't be buying from that person. You need to buy from somebody that you feel has full integrity. And I believe we all do. I know I do. I've left 3 jobs, been fired from 3 jobs because I didn't want to bend to their way. And I felt it would compromise my integrity. So I do believe very much in integrity. Every one of the speakers strongly believes that. So you're not being led astray. I tried to share with you all the research I did, and then 100 healings, Fruit of Life, the videos of your blood flowing super fast once it's on eye water. I'd say try it. You say, well, what's going to get healed first in my body? Well, that's up to God. He's the one that designed your body. Your body knows what it needs to work on first. And whatever it needs to work on first, going to work on that first, and it's going to go to what's second, and then what's third. He's going to work its way down through a hierarchy that your body has established. So we don't know where it's going to start, but it's going to start exactly the right spot for you. All right. As Charity has said a couple times, whoever invited you here, you want to go back to that person and ask them to coach you and get you signed up so you can support them and they can support you as you walk down this path. We're really thrilled to be able to share this with you. Thank you very, very much for joining with us. It's been our blessing to share.
Mark, can I interrupt you? I think the question has come up twice about breastfeeding and pregnancy, and I just wanted to address that.
Sure.
I personally know someone, multiple people who have drank eye water through their entire pregnancy, which I think is only beneficial because we need to keep our moms hydrated. I do know someone who has used the iThrive all through their pregnancy, and iThrive is a combination of, I think, 32 superfruits and vitamins. So, and if you have someone who can muscle test you with it, all the better. I don't have any firsthand information about the cleanse, although all of our products are totally natural. But I just wanted to answer that question because I think it's come up a couple times.
That's awesome. And I will just piggyback on that. Yes, I know one mom, she was having trouble making milk for her newborn, and she got on the eye water, and whatever your body is supposed to be doing, that's what the eye water helps it do. And she was able to make more milk for her newborn baby. So yes, I think a hydrated body is a healthier body in every way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Somebody asked if there's any special soap they've got to use to wash this pitcher out. I don't use any soap at all. I just use water. Come on, Sue or Karen, anything you want to tell us?
Yeah, once in a blue moon, I'll drop it in with my dishwashing soap. Like when I'm doing up dishes, it is because it's so precious and priceless to me, it is the first thing I wash. So it's going into the clean water before any of the dirty dishes go in there, of course. And then I just towel dry it type of deal. But it's very rare that I wash it, as like Mark says, you know, I might as well wash it. It's empty because it's rarely empty. I can see it on the counter across from me and it's half full. It empties, I top it up and activate another cycle straight away.
Yeah, I think we go through about 3 pitchers a day, Patty and I. We just we love water. It's our #1 beverage. We love it. So,
And I do want to say you do not want to put your pitcher in the dishwasher. I use a non-toxic dish soap, but no dishwasher.
okay, that's good. Good to know. All right. All right, folks. Think we're done?
Awesome. Thanks for having us, Mark and Charity.
All right, you're very welcome. Thank you all for coming. God bless you, and we will see you at another time. All right, that's it. It's over.